underscore 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 field journal entry. February 16th subject. Preliminary reconnaissance. As discussed in our previous correspondence, I have agreed to undertake the preliminary solo investigation surrounding a mining site near Wenton, Virginia. Dr. Renner, your work in subterranean ecosystems has provided me with the framework for this endeavor. My intent here is to catalog observations, gather material evidence where possible, and assess the validity of the claims surrounding the site. This field journal will serve as my primary record of all findings. I shall make a note to email copies of my entries when I have anything of substance. However, with the severely limited access to the internet here, I can only hope it will reach you and your fellow researchers in a timely manner. For this record, my background is in environmental toxicology. I study legacy contaminants and how living systems adapt to them. This includes heavy metal signatures left behind by coal extraction. If this site exists and has truly been abandoned for decades, it would provide an exceedingly rare survey opportunity. With luck, I can record water samples, soil cores, and document any organisms that have coped with the site's legacy chemicals. I'm not naive about risk, but I must admit there is a personal edge to this as well. A nagging thread I haven't committed to paper until now. 4 years ago, while poring through maps of old industrial counties across America, I found a ledger that stopped mid-sentence. It seemed to bury itself under my skin. That omission became a question that wouldn't leave me alone. Missing names and some similar details isn't entirely unusual, especially for older sites, but this is different. The mine was certainly real, but there is absolutely zero information surrounding it. No dates, personnel records, not even a name or exact location for the mine. The only concrete information available is that it was once the 6th largest coal-producing mine in Virginia and a couple of billing receipts from a general goods store located in the rural mountain town of Wenton, VA. Further research gives me nothing but ghosts. I've printed every scrap of municipal record I could find on the site and cross-checked what is available against county filings. The gaps are larger than the records themselves. I have to know whether the omissions are nothing more than bureaucratic sloppiness or something intentional. Nonetheless, I intend for this document to be as methodical and comprehensive as conditions allow, with the hope that upon my return, it may prove useful for our ongoing research. Newman underscore 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 field journal entry. February 18th subject. Arrival to Wenton. I arrived earlier today. From the moment I stepped off the Greyhound, it was apparent Wenton wears its mining past like a second skin. While obviously an old, worn style, it would be almost charming if in any other location. The single main street stretches forward, tired and riddled with potholes. Buildings pack in beside each other in parallel. Faded murals of miners and storefronts are framed in blackened timber, forming a monument to an industry long gone. Folks shuffle past, the kind of people whose faces seem permanently worn by weather and worry. Their eyes flick toward me but don't linger. Strangers are noted but not overtly welcomed. The residents still here are few and far between, most well past middle age. I imagine their families have lived on this mountain for generations, the sort of roots that go too deep to pull up even when the soil goes bad. I've checked in at the only inn here, Dusty S. I'm assuming the name is from the thin layer of coal dust that still seems to coat the town, or maybe it's the original owner's name. Either way, the place matches the town to a T, plain, not built for comfort, but yet functional. The ground floor serves as the town's bar, dimly lit and smelling of stale beer and cigarette smoke. The upstairs holds guest rooms, each door wooden with a brass handle and number plate. After I get settled, I'll head out tomorrow and see if anyone here is willing to talk about the mine. However, my current expectations are low. Newman underscore 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 field journal entry. February 19th subject. Old bones have walked the length of town but unfortunately don't have anything interesting to note. There is a boarded-up movie theater, a closed general store with ancient sales signs still in its windows, and an old post office with its glass doors chained shut. Along the outskirts of Wenton are the skeletal remains of coal tipples and conveyor structures, swallowed by weeds and rust. The forest here has reclaimed everything except the main road, and even that is arguable in some places. The locals are courteous enough after introductions, with most interactions happening the same. I answered questions about myself and the outside world. I mean, it only makes sense. This entire town is tucked away days from anything else. After some time talking, I would always try to move the conversation toward what happened to the town and if they knew anything about the mine. The responses all differed, but the answer stayed the same. The faux warm smiles common with Southern hospitality ran cold, replaced by excuses for cutting the conversation short. Feeling defeated for today, I returned back to Dusty S for dinner, a small handful of patrons sitting around in the dim smoke-filled room. The bartender, more talkative after a few hours, let slip that some things are better left buried and proceeded to change the subject. It wasn't tea until later when I met my only promising lead, Mitch. A square-shouldered man in his late 40s. Short, graying hair clings stubbornly to his scalp, and uneven stubble gives him a rough, unpolished appearance. Wearing a faded flannel shirt, sleeves rolled to the elbows, tucked loosely into worn jeans, he sits slumped at the bar. They call it Whisper Watch Mine, he said in a hushed, half-drunk tone, as if worried someone might overhear. No one around here is eager to talk about it. Most miners left in the 60s, shortly after the operation shut down. The few who stayed claimed the mine was always off. Something about the air being stale. I tried talking more with Mitch, but the several glasses of whiskey caught him before I could. Nonetheless, I have more information than I did before. I'll head to the library in the morning to see if I can find out more. Newman _________________________________________________________________________________________________________________________h field journal entry, February 20th. Subject: getting nowhere. I've spent all of today trying to find the mine on a map. It's not there. I went to the local library, hoping to track something down in the old coal company records, but even those seem thin. I resorted to asking around town again, but no one will give a straight answer. It's as though all memory of the mine has been locked away and stigmatized. The only new information came from an old man at the grocer, barely able to speak above a whisper. At first he gave me the usual story of not knowing, until I mentioned the name Whisperwatch. His eyes widened a bit and began to mutter something about a watch, or maybe it was about being watched. I couldn't make eye.